Thank you all for joining us today. This is our first Fellowship Fund webinar of the year. As you already know, Fellowship Fund application um, has opened and is open until February 14th. So this presentation will go over the application process, what the program's about, and just answer general questions about how to apply and all that. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. Please keep them general questions. Any specific ones, we'll ask you to email us and we'll provide the email later on the webinar. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. And I'll introduce Abby, who's our director of programs, and in charge of Fellowship Fund. So she'll be in charge of the presentation. And yeah, I'll give it to Abby.
Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well, staying warm. So it looks like we have almost 150 participants in this webinar, which is so cool. Um, so I'll get into it. I'll do some fellowship fund slides, go through that, and then I'll kind of walk you through the application a little bit. We do have a new section this year, so I'll go over that, and then we can answer your questions at the end, like Diego explained. So a little bit about the Fellowship Fund. It was established in 2011 and it has awarded over $4.5 million in grants to nearly 1,100 farmer veterans. It's a small grant program that provides direct assistance to farmer veterans with awards ranging from $1,000 to $5,000. Purchases are made on behalf of the farmer veteran for equipment and other related supplies that will positively impact their ag business. So as it says on the application, we don't write the check directly to the awardee. Instead, the awardee goes to their preferred vendor. They request an invoice or invoices, and then we get that invoice and we pay that vendor directly within 30 days. It almost always does not take 30 days. It's usually like a week and a half. And yeah, and then as Diego mentioned, the applications are open now. It opened January 3rd, and they must be submitted by February 14th at 11:59 p.m. And then, of course, we have to highlight our awesome large funders, Kubota, New Warrior Project, and Tractor Supply Company and Foundation. Without them, we cannot make this possible. And then, as a lot of y'all probably have heard about, is our Kubota Geared to Give. It's a partnership with Kubota. The Geared to Give program provides equipment and grants through the Fellowship Fund. And sometimes we get this question. The Geared to Give application is actually integrated into the Fellowship Fund application. I'll show you all that here in a little bit, but it's at the very end. You can opt in or opt out of getting in the pool to receive that equipment. Each year, Kubota awards 5 pieces of equipment through the program, and since 2015, the Geared to Give program has awarded 46 pieces of equipment to FEC members, which is absolutely incredible. Kubota is an awesome partner, and if you follow us on social media, you have probably seen that every year when they give the keys to the equipment to the awardee, they always do a really awesome ceremony. This last year, we were in Arlington, Texas for the PBR World Finals, and that's always super fun. So if you're interested in equipment, make sure to opt in to the Geared to Give at the very end of the application. So some requirements. You must be a veteran member of FBC, not an associate. So make sure that you're a verified veteran member of FBC. If you need to verify that, you can always contact support. We're happy to help you. And then you must have served or are currently serving in any branch of the U.S. military. Must have received an honorable characterization of service upon discharge from the military. However, other characterizations of service may be accepted on a case-by-case basis. And then currently serving service members must provide a letter of support from their commanding officer or designated representative attesting to their characterization of service. Of course, if you need templates for that, the support center does have those. I always feel like I'm going too fast through these, so I'll slow down. And then you must have an ag business in operation and a business plan. Some people are always like, "Huh, I don't know if I'm actually eligible." We always say that if you have incurred expenses and or received income from your farming or ranch, you are eligible for the fellowship fund. And like I mentioned, make sure to have that business plan. The fellowship fund is designed to support for-profit businesses, ag businesses. Nonprofit entities are not eligible to apply. Previous fellowship recipients are only eligible to apply again if they've been awarded $1,000 or less. This is usually our Tractor Supply gift certificates that are donated to us that we give out. However, all are welcome to apply for that Gear to Give portion or program that I mentioned earlier. Um, I was going to say something about that. Oh, so yeah, so if you have, let's say you were awarded $2,000 or $5,000 last year, you can apply again and you have to fill out the application, the fellowship fund application, but make sure to opt in for that Gear to Give because that's the only thing you'll be in the running for is that equipment. Must be willing to fully participate in the fellowship fund program. This includes doing reports, mentoring other farmer veterans, and having a desire to make a positive impact on the farmer veteran community, which is very important. We don't ask a lot. Usually at the end of the year, we just send out a survey that you will fill out. Pictures are everything for us because we send those to our funders. And yeah. So for the application, you will need to upload a redacted DD-214, a member 4 that has your characterization of service on it, a short essay response. It's a minimum 1 paragraph, maximum 1 page. That prompt is on the application, and I will talk about that here in a little bit. And then a business plan. The business plan must be no more than 15 pages. You are able to save the application and come back to it later. Just click on the checkbox at the very top and it will send you an email. You'll create a password. This sounds kind of silly, but I always like to say it. The application does consist of conditional questions. So, meaning that as you fill out the application, additional questions will appear based on how you respond. You always have those people that will look at the application, like glance at it around this time, and they look at it real fast and they're like, oh, there's only a few questions. There's a few more than just a few questions. So make sure that you give yourself some time. Don't wait until 10 o'clock p.m. on February 14th to try to do it all. Um, and then new this year, we do have the emergency preparedness section. I will go over that here in a little bit. So the business plan. The business plan is a very crucial part of your application. It gives the reviewers like a very well-rounded overview of your operation and your future plans. When we were designing the fellowship fund, we really wanted the process to prepare you for other loan and grant opportunities later down the road. So that's kind of the point of the business plan. I know we've had a lot of people before say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you required that because it really made me sit down and make this plan. It's so important. And if you need assistance with that, we have previous webinars that we've done with Farm Credit and CFFM with Ag Plan on our Fellowship Fund website. Also, surprise, Diego hasn't announced this yet, but CFFM with Ag Plan will be doing another webinar. That's very similar to the one we did last year, except they'll go over, I think, a few new features and things like that. That webinar will be January 29th. Like I said, this is the first time we're saying anything about it. So that registration link and that information will be sent out soon to all of our members, especially those joining in today. And of course, if you need additional resources, if you don't want to use AgPlan, totally okay. There's other templates that we can send to you. I always recommend AgPlan because it really takes you step by step, and it's not as overwhelming at first. So, scoring. So we have a group of third-party reviewers. Some of them are from Farm Credit, universities, other agriculture and veteran organizations, all that have agriculture experience. And they're the ones that do the scoring. So they get a rubric, has 7 categories on it. They rate those categories 1 through 5. Each application is scored twice by 2 different reviewers that are not associated with each other. And then that's kind of how we do the scoring. That's how we figure out who's going to be awarded. And then we just have to match up, with the funder amounts that we receive. So those categories, I'll kind of go through them here. The first one is farm training and experience. So does the candidate have the training and experience necessary to succeed in their business? So this could be something as simple as, do you have a mentor? Did you watch a webinar series? Um, it could be anything. So don't overthink it. Think about the small things that have made an impact on how you are training to succeed in your operation, even books. The second category is transferable skills. So I always like to say this kind of matches up with the short essay prompts that's in the application. It says, does the candidate possess skills from their military service and or previous careers that will be valuable to their farming venture? So this could be skills in mechanics and servicing vehicles, leadership, marketing, construction, all that good stuff. Third category is personal investment. Has the candidate already made a significant personal investment of time and resources into their farming career? So this could be education, training. This could also, like it says, be time. The time you've spent watching a webinar series or reading a book. Have you got any supplies? Fencing. Fencing is always a big one because that's kind of one of the first things you have to do to start off with livestock usually. Purchasing the livestock, anything like that. Okay, and then the fourth one is strategic request. So will the requested equipment or materials strategically advance the candidate's business? This is a big one because your request needs to be something that can create a long-lasting impact on your operation and also tie into those goals and future, the vision and goals for the future that you have. Um, So, it doesn't have to be one item. This is a question on the application. You can put more than one item. Just make sure that you go into detail about the pricing and how it's going to go back to those goals and what you have in mind with the growth of your operation. The fifth one is the vision goals for the future. So it'll be your long-term and your short-term goals. Category number 6 is community involvement. So, has the candidate demonstrated previous involvement with FEC or veteran and/or farming communities? So, this could be involvement with your local chapter. Are you Home for My Heroes certified? Um, Conference? Do you go to other farming organization conferences, local trainings? Do you volunteer at farmers markets, other events like that? Um, there's that. And then the seventh one is unique impact. So, what really sets you aside from everyone else? Does the candidate combine solid qualifications with a unique perspective, experience, or skill that would add to the fellowship community? So, what makes you so special? What's that niche that you have? Um, and yeah, so that's the 7 categories that you're scored on. They can be found in the application and or business plan. Like the goals are usually a part of the business plan, so that will probably be in both. And then here's our contact for like general questions like the business plan templates, or if you're wanting to verify that your application was submitted, you can go to contact support. For more specific questions, if you're trying to figure out, how your operation ties into the program or anything like that, you can contact myself. You can do my personal one or the fellowship one. I always suggest the fellowship one, or give me a call. And yeah, so now I will kind of pull up the application and we'll talk through some of that. There's like a million buttons on here, so I'm trying to figure out.
And just to reassure everyone in the comments, this is being recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And I'll send out an email to all of our attendees with the link for the recording as well as a copy of the presentation if they need it.
Okay, can you see the application? Okay. So,
Zoom in just a bit though. It's a little,
human.
yeah.
How's that?
Do one more time. Yeah,
Good.
that's better.
Okay, good. So this is the first page. You'll see that at the very top, there's that Save My Progress button. I always suggest doing this process every time you leave the application.
Real quick,
So,
zoom in one more time.
okay. What about now? I have a really big computer, so it looks a lot
All right, try
bigger.
one more time just to be safe. That will be good.
Okay. Okay, what about
All right,
now?
perfect.
Okay. So make sure you save it at the very top. I always suggest doing a Word document to put your responses in. You know, we're all in rural areas where a lot of us are. Internet's not always our friend. So make sure that you put those responses on a Word document in case you lose internet, anything like that. You can make sure you have those. Um, I mentioned making sure to pushing that save button as much as possible. And then the rest of this first page just talks about what I already kind of went over. And then you'll see it goes through some basic questions like your name, address. And then it gets into the eligibility questions, like this one. So if you click no, obviously it's going to tell you to cancel your application. So make sure you read carefully. You're going to want to be a member. And so, as I discussed earlier, as you click yes or no to questions, it will pop up different uh, questions based on your response. So it asks about your military service. This is where you will submit that redacted DD 214 or that letter that I discussed if you're currently serving. The application won't let you submit it if you haven't already put something in here. So, um, and then it asks more questions. You're going to want to be involved in ag. You're not requesting funding for a nonprofit. It asks some questions about your business. There's that spot for the business plan. And then it reminds you if you need assistance with it, there's some information down here. And then questions about your business. And then here is that short essay prompts that I discussed earlier that goes back to that transitional category. So it says, describe how your military service has helped you in the food/farming industry and what other life experiences have led you to choose a career in agriculture. As we mentioned, you'll do it in a Word document, maximum 1 page, minimum of 1 paragraph. Once you've clicked yes on this, then it asks some questions based on kind of your word, what your goals are that I talked about earlier, um, the cost of your equipment. And then here's that new section. So um, we really we didn't want to overwhelm people. We didn't want to add a lot of extra stuff to the application. So, but we did feel this was important, and I feel like we explained that well in that first paragraph. So I'll read that real quick. It says, due to the natural disasters experienced nationally in the past several years, FPC is requiring applicants to complete some basic emergency preparedness questions to ensure that they have a prompt response from emergency personnel and recovery assistance. As we all know, we've had so many terrible natural disasters. We're having one right now. Um, and it's never too late to be prepared. Actually, it's never too early to be prepared. It is too late to be prepared. So we asked some simple questions just to get you kind of thinking about this process. Have you signed up for local alerts? How would you be warned? Phone numbers, and also that's in the top of that section. We recommend you print it out and save it, so then you have this. Addresses for the closest FSA office, and that's just some stuff to kind of check off and make sure that you've thought about or talked about with your family and friends and neighbors. And then down here we have some resources. Mariel on staff did an amazing webinar that I actually watched a few weeks ago. It was so good. So make sure to check that out. And then we have some resources down here. And then there's that important gear to give section. So make sure that if you are wanting to put be in the running for tractor, skid steer, UTV, or hay tools, you click yes. This is the first year they're doing a skid steer, which I think is awesome. And so it asks some questions just about your operation, and then you can opt in or opt out of being in the running for different pieces of equipment. You'll see that as you click yes, there's more specific questions about your need for that piece of equipment, especially the skid steer. There's a lot of questions on there, so make sure that might take some time to kind of figure out what exactly to put in those so they can know what kind of equipment to give to you. And then there's a submit button. If there's something missing, it will tell you, which right now, yeah, there's 68 problems with my submission. So it will tell you and it'll go back to everything that was not filled out. Sorry, I'm probably making y'all dizzy. So whenever you submit it, there's a screen that says, thank you for submitting your application. You also should get an email. Unfortunately, the email has been going to the junk folder. I'm trying to fix that, but with form assembly, it's somebody else that sends the email, so I'm not really able to do much about that. If you are paranoid and you're like, oh my gosh, did it really go through? Feel free to call us or email us, and we can happily do that for you. I think that's all I have. I guess we'll go to questions now. Hopefully this has been helpful for y'all. Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Do you want me to read them out to you, or do you have them open right now?
I have them up. I'll read them.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one I see is, if this is my first year, am I eligible? I just planted my orchard. Yes. Yes, you're definitely eligible. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it, as long as you have a plan established. How can I be assigned a mentor? You can contact support and we'll happily do that for you. Uh, I don't know what state you're in, but we can definitely help you out. If you have a chapter, we'll probably reach out to the chapter for some assistance with that as well. I'm gonna type the answers just in case you're not hearing. Is there a max or a minimum in regards to farming experience? Nope. Um, most of our members are beginning farmers, so a lot of these a lot of people will be in their first year or two of farming, so you're definitely not the only one. There's so many questions. Okay, hold on.
And then real quick, I'll jump in. And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I'll ask you anyway, Abby. There's one question in the chat. Do you need to set up a social media account or website for the business plan
Nope,
or its application?
nope, you don't have to. I always recommend you do. I mean, not for the application, but it's just a good thing to have for your business. But no, you don't have to. You'll
And
see
I
that
want
that's
to,
not,
because
you'll
we
see in
like
the
to share.
application, there's not it's not required to answer, so you can leave that blank. With the With the Kubota Equipment Fund addition, is that still the 5,000 limit, or does that allow the award to be raised to cover the equipment donated by Kubota? So you can't get a fellowship fund grant and a piece of equipment in the same year. If that makes sense. So um, you would just get the awarded piece of equipment. Do the questions have word count limits? Yes, it should be 300 words. So I can't review the business plan, but we have people that can review the business plan for you if that's something that you would like to do.
And for questions about the business plan, or like asking people to review it, how to make a business plan, all that, in the email after this webinar, I'll provide links to resources that we have of how to make your business plan, how to improve it, and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for an email within the next day or early next week. So yeah.
Somebody asked, can your request include products from multiple vendors? Yes, it can. I won $2,000 2 years ago. Am I eligible this year to apply? You are eligible for the Gear to Give section of it. Is there a type of farming method that FEC is more supportive of? Nope. We support everything. Where can I find the 7 categories listed? They're on our Fellowship Fund website. They're also on the front page of the application. When are the awards announced? They're announced the first week of May. Is there a list of approved vendors, and is there a way we can add an approved vendor if none is near me? Um, you can also do online purchases. We have a process for that. So yeah, we'll work with you. The recording will be shared. And now let me go to chat. Yes, if you don't get awarded, you can reach out to us and we can help you walk through the reviewers' comments. Are you required to have a farm number? No. The grants are not accounted for on taxes. Does New York have a chapter, Diego? I don't believe so right now.
I believe so. About to check.
Okay. Sorry, we'll check on that for you.
Yeah, a lot of chapters. Some of them are official. Some of them are kind of still like an ongoing process. So
You
North
have
Carolina does have a chapter.
you have to be a veteran to apply. Yes, right now you do. We are doing something hopefully within the next few years for widows and spouses. Yes, if you do get equipment, the Gear to Give, you are not eligible to apply again for the fellowship fund. Um, should you include a YouTube channel you run for your business? You can if you want. That's totally up to you. Is it okay if we are planning on moving in the next few months to buy land in a new state? Is it okay if your plan isn't in our current state? Yes. You do have to have a plan. That's kind of the first step. Sorry, guys, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to stay on top of it. Um,
And we're doing our best to just answer kind of more general questions that will apply to get to people attending this webinar. If you have more specific questions, I recommend you reach out to us via email, and that'll give us more time to look into it. But we're trying to answer more general questions here.
yes, you can apply for the Gear to Give. Oh, oh, where'd it go? If you've been awarded a fellowship fund grant in the past. Yes, if you were to apply for the grant this year, you could apply for the equipment next year. You do not need to be a combat veteran. For your membership, I just lost the question. Um, yes, you can contact us and we'll help you out. We don't have a login portal on our website though. So do you plan, so do you apply for one or the other, or can you apply for both the fellowship and equipment at the same time? Yes, yeah, you only do it at the same time. There's only one opportunity, um, once a year right now. Hopefully in the future with more funding, we can do more cycles, every year. And yeah, I think we'll stop there with questions. Please reach out to us. I'll put up our contact again for y'all. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, bring up the slide with the contact information.
Okay.
And while she's doing that, again, this is being recorded. It'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Um, Let me put that right now, actually. And we tried our best to answer as many questions as we can. Again, we stuck with more general questions, but for more specific questions, please reach out to us. She has the emails up there. You can screenshot that or write it down, but you can reach out to us at fellowship@farmvehicle.org or support@farmvehicle.org, or even just reach out to Abby at her email. You can also reach out to me, is Diego@farmvehicle.org. Um, I'll put our link to the YouTube channel in the chat. Again, as we uploaded within the next day or early next week. We do have our webinar planned for the end of this month with Center for Farm Financial Management. They're a great contact of ours and a great partner. They help with business planning. So if you need help with your business plan, I highly recommend you check that out. There'll be an announcement soon on when you can register for that. They have a thing called Ag Plan. That's a template that you can use to make a business plan, and they help you with various different kinds of business plans. If you want to do like a value added business plan, there's a lot of different kinds that let you customize it. Um, so be on the lookout for that. It'll be 29th, I believe, of January, but I can't remember exactly. Same time, around lunchtime. Um, And if you want more information about the Fellowship Fund, again, please check out our website. We do have links to our other webinars that we had in the past. So I highly recommend you check those out as well. But yeah, any questions, please reach out to us.